My creative writing students sometimes write about a character who sits down under a tree, or hides behind a tree, or is lost in a forest. I often ask, what kind of tree? Palm tree? Broadleaf? What type of forest? Bare of leaves? Evergreen? Are the trees tall and casting shadows? Or are they thin, ghost-like? By adding key details of something as simple as a tree, writers can reveal setting and add atmosphere and tone to a story. Sometimes my students write that a character is walking in a city, an ordinary city. But what is an ordinary city? Every city I have ever visited has its own personality, its own landscape, its own architecture, and its particular modes of transportation. And all cities have their own versions of chaos and order. As writers, we train ourselves to look closely at the world. We learn to gaze up wherever we are, and when we do, we discover details, and sometimes surprises. We learn to look down as well and observe what we might easily miss, or what might be considered unimportant to others. We learn to use all of our senses: taste, smell, touch, sight, hearing, to consider and absorb the world around us, every extraordinary detail. As writers, we train ourselves to observe people. We watch closely how people play and how they work. Sometimes we even learn to do that work when it is important to our story. Sometimes we observe and learn for hours, days, weeks, or months even, just for the sake of our story. We pay attention to people's posture, gestures, to their hands, to their eyes, to actions, reactions, expressions, clothing, and accessories. We learn to be curious, to take a second look, to examine closely, and investigate further. We learn to ask what people are doing, what they are learning about. We learn to notice patterns. We pause outdoors to watch. We see both the natural patterns and the human-made patterns. We'll take the long view. We'll take the short view. We try to notice everything. And with all these details, we begin to create. We writers may see windows, but we don't just see windows. We see the stories that might lie behind them or through them. Take a look. What do you see? So wherever you are, slow down, pause, call up your writer self, take out a small notebook, and notice the details of the world.